Hey everyone, it's Julian, and we are here for day 3 of set 3 reveals for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. And we have kind of a slow day. There's no legendaries revealed today, but we do have a couple gold cards that help us get a look at how some of these archetypes are going to play out. And a couple of them are pretty interesting. So let's talk about it. First, let's start with Abysscraft. Now, Abyss has gotten a good amount of cards already, right? We've seen a couple bronzes, a silver, the legendary, both legendaries actually, and we're playing into this choose archetype. One thing I do want to say is in Shadowverse's history, most archetypes that get almost all of their cards supporting one archetype typically are pretty good. The decks end up being pretty good, right? So I hope that is the case with this choose archetype, this mode archetype. Because I think a lot of the card design is really interesting, and it seems like they're slanting very hard control. So let's talk about this card. So, Screaming and Loathing, I think that's a hilarious name. 3 mana spell, select 2 modes to activate. The first mode is Recover 1 play point. Second mode is Draw a Follower. Third mode is Draw a 3-cost spell. And then fourth mode is Deal 4 damage to a random enemy follower. More random enemy follower damage, kind of frustrating. It's it just doesn't make sense. If they want to make it 3 because it'd be too powerful, it was targeted 4, which I don't think it would be. Just make it 3. I think the people saying that it gets around ambush or aura, it gets around that if you get lucky and hit, right? So I don't know. I don't like the random stuff, but I already talked about that a lot. So when it comes up again, I'm not going to talk about it, but I will probably make a funny joke or something. But let's talk about this card. So very flexible card, right? One interesting thing is there's literally no other 3-cost spell in the game that Abyss can play besides this and Seraphic Tidings, the 3-mana draw 2 neutral spell, right? So I think what they want you to do is play this and then draw this thing again if you click the third mode. So I think the modes we're really going to be looking at are the Draw a Follower, the Recover a play point, and then also the Draw a 3-cost spell, so you draw it again. And the reason I say that I think this deck is going to be slanting hard control is as the deck is not constructed but played right now, right? There's a difference between as it's constructed, because obviously it's going to be built differently because we're getting new cards. But as Abyss is played right now, this card would be dog water. This would not be playable, right? It's 3 mana, basically do nothing, and especially do nothing if you miss the 4 damage, right? But in reality, in a really hard control deck, this is basically a 3 mana draw 2 cards and 2 sort of specific cards, right? Because you can get this back, basically, and then also draw a follower, right? And then obviously if you get to the Yamcha, the Shamnacha ability, you're going to be able to get 3 of these things. Then this card seems really, really nuts. And I just really like the flexibility of this. And again, my issue with Abyss for a while was card draw, and we already have seen 2 cards that are card draw, right? This card and the amulet from last night, right? So I do really like this card. I think it's really good for this archetype, but that's only if this archetype actually is a hard control archetype. If they expect you to play mid-range and want you to be able to play this in a curve somewhere, I don't think it's going to work out, and I don't think this archetype is going to be good. That is one thing I'm worried about, is there's a lot of cards that are like, okay, this is good if we get more control tools, but if we don't and they start leading more mid-range, it might get rough, right? So, really excited about this archetype, though. It really reminds me of kind of old Control Blood type cards. So, pretty cool. Then we have the first Forest card. I know there's a lot of people asking for Forest cards. We got them. Is it good? We'll see. Unifier of Unkilling. 9 mana, 4/6 gold Forest follower. So 9 mana is very expensive, right? So this is going to have to do a lot. It innately has Rush and Ward, and then when this follower comes into play, summon an exact copy of it and give it -1 attack. So this is pretty interesting because when you play this raw for 9 mana, you're going to fill your board with a 4/6, a 4/5, a 4/4, a 4/3, and a 4/2, all with Russian wards. Kind of similar to like an Amalia. Obviously a little bit worse because Amalia has that big body that's a threat. It comes down a little bit earlier, and it's just a little different in a class that wants to do that kind of stuff too, and is rewarded for filling the board. Forest, again, another one of those things where, as the deck is constructed right now, this is unplayable, right? This is just not even, you're never getting to 9, right? But again, if we get to a control deck, a control game plan, I think this could be good. Another interesting thing that I want to talk about is the fact that there's a couple interesting things to say about the text, because it says summon an exact copy of this. So my thought is, maybe are we getting some sort of hand buffs in Forest? Hand buff, of course, was a old archetype for blood, but maybe it moves over to Forest. The other thing I thought is maybe a card that summons this card from your hand and then does something like leaves play or something like that, right? So you can get this card early, clear a board, and then either one of them goes away or all of them go away, something like that. But the fact that it's 9 mana is pretty expensive. I am very much expecting a way to cheat this out in some way. Obviously, it was just a full cheat out, like on turn 6 it'd be broken, but, well, would it even be broken? I don't know, but it'd be very good. It'd be very strong. But I'm definitely expecting some sort of thing to do with either buffing it before it comes into play or playing it early. And yeah, obviously, Izudia could come in and do something like that, but we will have to see with Force. So, pretty interesting card. I'm excited to see where Force goes, because we're in the third set of, like, can we get something other than Roach? Hopefully we do. Next card is a card I had to read a couple times because I was like, there's no way this card is this bad. But I think it is just this bad. Shining Conviction, 4 mana, gold, Havencraft amulet. Last words, deal countdown 4. Last words, deal 4 damage split between all enemies. Restore 4 defense to your leader. And then on engage, it's going to advance the count of this amulet by X. X is the amount of crests you have. This card is so bad, and I can pretty confidently say that just because we've seen both legendaries, right? And they don't really do anything with this card. I'm really confused about this card. It almost feels like at one point it was going to do 4 AoE, and then they're like, oh, that's a little too good. Let's make it just do 4 split. It's basically just a significantly worse. What is it called? The Holy Shot. The 3-drop amulet that deals 4 damage and restores 1 to your leader, and it's targeted. Yeah, I don't know. I think this card is horrendous. I don't understand this card. Let me know what you guys think about this card, but I think this is one of the worst cards in the game. Obviously, the 4 healing is pretty good, but Haven, you're not really stressed for healing, and you wouldn't play a terrible card like this just for healing. So let me know if I'm missing something, or some synergy, or I don't know. I saw some people saying like Skullfane. Maybe you go like Skullfane AoE and then deal 4 extra damage. That's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Maybe that is, you go like play this again on 5, and then you Skullfane and deal what, 10 damage? I don't know, for skipping 2 turns in a row. I don't know. But yeah. Let me know if I'm missing something about this card. Then we have a really interesting card. I think a lot of people are going to overreact to this card in different levels and different ways, right? The Tablet of Trials, 3 play point gold neutral amulet. On play, if there are duplicate cards in your deck, banish those cards until only 1 copy of each remains, and then engage, draw a card, and notice there's no countdown at all. This amulet is not going to go away. Really interesting card here, right? So obviously on play, it's going to cut your deck very low, and then you're basically going to get 2 draws every turn. The immediate thinking is playing this with Jerry, of course, so that you get an extra draw every turn to get down through your deck to get to the victory card at the end. But But, that's just an easy, thing to think about. But for me, I think this is a really interesting card in sort of Haven, because Rodeo can actually get this card out. Because I was like, can Rodeo get this card? And I went and looked, and it does just get 3 randomly differently named amulets. It doesn't say Haven amulets. And puts it into play. So obviously, if it put it into play, you're not going to get the fanfare, and then basically just for the rest of the game, you get to engage draw a card and basically draw 2 cards every turn. Pretty cool for Haven, like a control Haven. Again, I talked about this last video, but control Haven is just, and all control decks are just in a really rough spot because you can't play hard control into D-Shift. They are just a more valued deck, and they are just going to kill you no matter what. So it is kind of hard to imagine like these hard control decks theoretically existing while D-Shift and Kakaida still exist. But it is just a kind of cute card. I don't know how good it is, but it's something that will get a lot of, play, and you'll probably see it every now and then, especially at the beginning, especially with people trying Jerry. Because, of course, this card lets you get to Jerry pretty fast, too, right? So if you're playing a Jerry deck, you probably just want a hard mulligan for him. But, of course, if you don't hit him, you play this on 3, you get 2 more draw, or 3 more draws, right? Because you go, play this on 3, tap, draw, and then next turn you get your turn draw, and then you tap and draw it again. So kind of interesting in that way, but yeah, we'll see about the Tablet of Trial. So that was all of the cards for today. Again, no legendaries, but I'm really interested in the Screaming and Loathing. I think that is a very cool card for Abyss, and hopefully that means we are going to get more hard control tools for this archetype. If we don't, I think this archetype might end up being rough. But we will see. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you want to see more reveals every day, because we're getting them every day, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. We're going to be doing these for the next week, and I'm going to be staying up very late every day. And yeah, the set comes out here soon in about 5 days, and we will be doing a full set review like I did. I also do want to do, at some point here, before the next set comes out, a video where I go back to set 2 and watch my review for set 2 and see how wrong or maybe right I was about some cards. So stay tuned if you want to see those type of videos, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.